Welcome to the Aroostook Barbell Gym Tour. So this is a free strength training based garage gym out of my garage. I train people here 4 days a week. Think powerlifting, think strongman, that sort of thing. So we'll start over here in the corner. This is the only corner that I have to put things in. It's just a shelf, different pictures and magazines, that sort of stuff. It's just, it's a shelf. So I've got some wrist wraps here. I have some new age performance mouthpieces. I think it's a picture of my first comp, looking fat and bloated. Some videos, Matt Winning. My buddy Greg Panora signed that for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. And just some basic stuff going on there. So starting over here is my poverty dumbbell set. And it goes literally from 1 pound, works its way up. Those are hundreds down there, but they have some 2.5 inch revolving handles. So obviously I made those. The handles spin. It's not only difficult because the grip is thick, but they spin, so it makes it a lot more of a challenge. And I can load those to whatever I want, obviously. Underneath there is a couple of different types of wrist rollers. You got a round dog bone style wrist roller underneath there. That's pretty nasty. That thing is great. Kettlebells. I wish I had a little more of a complete set, but it's what it is. It goes from 20 to 60. Those are the dumbbells there. Not terribly exciting. That tire sled, I've had that for years and years. I get a whole ton of use out of it. Everybody knows what a sled is good for. I either use it with a harness or with a long ab strap. I have a little wall-mounted pulley system there. It's kind of a low-end one, but it works. It's not kind of, it is, but it works really well. My Jed Johnson Diesel Crew poster. That dude made the grip sport world what it is today, and we're very grateful for that. Thank you, Jed. If you don't know him, look him up, dieselcrew.com. A couple of Rep Fitness benches. One's flat and one's a utility. Adjustable. The flat one is a better quality than the adjustable one. The adjustable one is not bad, but I mean, I went from having a Sorinex bench to this, so it's quite a bit of a quality difference. It works fine for what we're using it for. It's perfectly fine. It was like 250 bucks as opposed to like 1,000. So you kind of get what you pay for. But that Rep Fitness flat bench is a perfectly fine bench. I actually really like it a lot. The pad is a little bit soft, but with that being said, it's a comfortable pad. We'll come over here in this corner. I have a 10 bar holder that I had. Let me pan over here. I'm not a videographer, so I apologize. This 10 bar holder I had Lucas Raymond at Arm Assassin Strength Shop make. Think grip sport and all things arm wrestling. Go and check him out. It's only him, Lucas Raymond. He's a fantastic fabricator with really reasonable prices and an excellent turnaround time, and probably some of the best customer service I've ever had. Arm Assassin Strength Shop, and there's a lot of pieces in here made by him. This is a pretty gnarly little curl bar with 4-inch globe handles. I wanted something that would challenge our grip more, and that thing is it. So I can get in a little bit closer, or I can get wider, as you can see there. I have another bar by him. The next one in is a very, very simple curl bar. It's he made it after the arm wrestler Michael Todd. It's called the Monster Curl Bar. It's basically a hammer grip bar. you know, a neutral grip bar. So when the flat part of the bar is down and the handles are up and you're curling up, it's more of a grip work. When the bar is on top and the handles are down and you're curling up, it's works a little more of your brachioradialis. Then I have this old Rich Gaspari swivel handle curl bar here from the 80s. I actually really like that bar. It's funny I have so many different curl bars in the gym because I can't stand curls. But it's a great piece and I've had it for a long, long time. Luke Raymond made me these 2 sets of collars. You know, very simple to make, super effective. I have these 2-inch grip Farmer's Walk handles from Dean at Black Widow Training out of New York. I've had those bars for quite a number of years now. They're fantastic. They overload your grip, obviously. There is a 50-pound 8-inch log, and then there's your old school 12-inch, I think it's Pitbull strength, the guy that originally made them years and years ago. I still have that. I have had years and years out of use with that log. I have abused it and put it through what you put a log through, and it works amazingly well. Tucked in behind here, your basic trap bar. Room is obviously a commodity here because the space is so small. So I have to be really, really well organized and really efficient with my space. 2 of those Titan crash pads. They're not bad. They're a fairly decent quality. I want to say they were like 150 bucks a pair, somewhere in there. We get a ton of uses out of it. I not only use it for crash pads for the log because it lifts the log up off the ground and allows me to get my feet up under in there where I need to get them, but it's also, they work great for floor presses, all sorts of things. I've found way more uses for those 2 pads than I thought that I would. So it's a really good investment for 150 bucks. We get a ton of use out of them. Up here is one of those adjustable grippers. I actually really like that a lot. Some homemade forearm stone sleeves that I had from a company that makes probably the best quality custom hiking boots in the world, Peter Limmer out of New Hampshire. I just asked them if they had any scrap. They sent me some of the scrap leather and I cut them up and made them. It's a very thick leather. That's what their boot is made out of. I have a couple of pair of custom Limmers and there's nothing else like them. They're very expensive, but it'll be the last pair of boots that you'll ever have to own. They're certainly not for everybody though. Push-pull sled there with the poles in the corner and the plate loading pin there. I've gotten years and years of use out of that. Grippers on the wall from your baby sister can close all the way up to not too many people in the world can close. The colored ones are the Juji Mufu grippers. And then, you know, I've got like a Warren Tedding there. I've got all, you know, a number of them, some Iron Mine ones. People that know grippers will know what those are. Most of them are rated. They're not all rated. I have to finish rating them, but the one on top is somewhere in the neighborhood of 185, which is a pretty gnarly gripper. Picture from somebody that came through the gym that I took to a powerlifting competition in New Hampshire. She ended up squatting around 300 pounds and she's like a little tiny Oompa Loompa. So she's crazy strong. Representing where I live. Thank you very much for everybody that helps to protect the freedom that I have. Very grateful. Let's start from the barbells. On top is an old Texas all-purpose power bar. I just put that Elite FTS bench pad, shoulder saver pad on there. It kind of lives on there. It's when Texas Power Bar merged with another company, and I don't remember who it was. Apparently it's a valuable bar. Obviously it's kind of old and crusty. I haven't cleaned it in years, but it spins great as far as a power bar goes anyway. It's still straight, solid. It's probably one of the best quality bars that I have in the gym. Down from that bar is the cambered bench bar, which I actually never use for bench. I more use it for prone rows or for seal rows or for bent over rows because when I'm standing, because it just gives a little bit of more of a range of motion. Down below that is a 25-pound, I think that's a Titan bar. We have some kids that roll through here that are not able to push or pull with the 45-pound straight bar yet, so that actually comes in very handy. Down below that black bow bar is Titan's second version of that bar. It's a decent bar. I mean, look, I came from, the powerlifting world in a legit gym, and we had very, very nice bars. So I used to be pretty snobby about barbells, but the fact is that the quality has come quite a long way. While that's not a $500 bar, it's a decent bar for what we're using it for. We get everybody that comes through here, from your brand new teenagers to couples in their 60s to, a pro strongman from Texas that rolled through here, main strongest man, everybody in the middle. So as long as the barbells are safe and are of a decent quality, I don't really need to spend $400 or $500. The bar down below that is a angled multi-grip press pull bar. That's again from Dean at Black Widow Training from upstate New York. Really great qualities. The piece below that is a 2x5-inch Saxon grip bar. That's one that Lucas Raymond at Arm Assassin Strength Shop made. The dude makes phenomenal stuff, and also he's just a straight up guy. He's a very, very nice dude. So I definitely recommend working through him if you want anything at all fabricated, or even if things are not in stock. You're looking for something that maybe can be made, reach out to him. His turnaround time is really, really good. Obviously, it depends on the orders that he has going on, but it's a lot better than waiting months. Down below that is a Titan version 2 SSB safety squat bar. It's fine. I used to have a couple of Elite FDS bars, and I believe I gave both of those away. That's kind of a theme that you'll hear throughout this gym tour. I've given a lot of stuff away over the years. People that I respect, that need it more than me, that sort of thing. This gym is free, so that kind of falls in the theme of what I do. A homemade giant cambered bar that I had a local welding shop make. If you know what that is, you know what that is. It's a nasty little bar. The same local welding shop made me this loadable circus dumbbell. I believe it's 50 pounds empty. It's not very heavy, but it's micro loadable with fairly long sleeves, so I can get a whole bunch of weight on there. I like it. Stones. The Boulder family, as I like to affectionately call it. They go from 65 pounds. They're both Slater and hybrid molds. 65 pounds up to, here in the gym anyway, goes to 240, which is not a heavy stone. But for the majority of people that I have coming through here, that's all I really need to leave inside. I have some other stones, but they don't have the room to live in here. Over here, just a couple of, little token medals. My old shoes. First time I pulled 500, first time I squatted 500 was in those shoes. My old Inzer singlet. You can kind of see back in here. Brush for scraping the chalk off the bar, which mostly lives there. I don't really do that very often. But when I need to, it's there. Air freshener that probably has needed to be changed 3 years ago. My little belt rack. If it's something like a belt rack, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on it. This thing's fine. I'm not a particularly fan of Titan, but you know what? I'm more of a fan of having food in my fridge. So if I can save a couple bucks here or there, I will. And obviously, this is a free gym, so it all comes out of my pocket. Anything that I can get donated is really, really helpful. The belts. This first 4-inch 13mm power belt is a Bob's belt. If you haven't heard of Bob's belt, Bob Morris was a guy that built belts from the 70s and all the way on up to today. I'm not sure, honestly, if he's still making belts, but he made some of the finest belts in the powerlifting world, and he used to set up his little display at meets at a table and sell his belts, and he did very, very well. And that's a fantastic forever belt. It was a little bit of money, but it's a fantastic quality belt. Next to that are just different Spud Ink belts. Those two there, the black and the black and white next to it to the left, are both 3-ply quote-unquote deadlift belts. And then we have a 2-ply, the pink bench belt. One of the ladies that comes here regularly owns that belt. And then just some random belts on the ends for people that are smaller, that don't really need a super high quality belt. In my opinion, a belt's a belt, but I do like to splurge every once in a while, hence that Bob's belt that I bought about 10 or so years ago. A front squat harness, or whatever you want to call that thing, that's a pretty nasty little tool. Some foam rollers down there in the corner, a mat, some blocks, because we don't have room or money for a competition bench. I just put those cinder blocks behind the bench, and it raises me up a little bit so I can lift off to the lifter on the bench press. 12 by, I don't know, 14 by 16, somewhere in there. Box, I primarily use that for box squatting. I do have another one that's coming. As you know, gyms are never done. And then I have some box squat pads that somebody made for me. And this little Spud Ink Fat Man comfort belt. That's a very comfortable belt. I have my chains here on the wall. The easy straps, both for the deadlift and for the squat, and various bands. Not terribly exciting. I've got some bumpers on the floor from 10s to 45s. Some Rogue steel rings with a textured grip on them. They're actually a pretty comfortable ring. You don't want to get whacked in the face with them, but they're a pretty comfortable ring. The hamstring curl. And let's look at the bars up here on the wall. This is the bottom one. That prone row or seal row bar is kind of Titan's first version of it. That's the one that didn't even fit in their chest supported row machine, which was a little ridiculous. So they came out with a second version that's a little bit longer. But I use this one for when I'm setting up like on a incline bench or something, and it works fine. Or for bent over rows standing. The next one up is a Armstrong Strength sumo deadlift bar with a knurling in the middle. And I want to say he's the only one that makes them. You know, you could say maybe that's a little bit of a gimmick, but I actually love it. I tore up my shins for years and years and years. And I was finally like, why am I still doing this? He came out with that bar, I bought it. It's actually a pretty decent bar. Mike Armstrong, he's up in Canada, and he's a really good dude to deal with. That's the bar. He's a really, really good dude to deal with. The communication was great. It was quick, it was prompt. The bar came fast, and it was really reasonably priced. The next up above that with the blue tape on the ends is an Ohio power bar. And that is actually a really good quality bar. Everybody knows what that is. The next up from that is a cheap low end, as you can see, a cheap low end barbell that's thicker. I want to say that may even be a 35 millimeter. I could be wrong, but I just use that for light squatting, landmine work, you know, whatever. I'm not squatting 600 pounds anymore, so I don't need a dedicated squat bar. Would I like to have one? Yeah, but again, this is a free gym. It runs on donations only, so I can't really put up 500 bucks for a nice squat bar now. Right above that is a homemade axle bar that the welding shop made. Here's something, I love those collars there. They're just welded on, obviously from the inside. So here the plates sit flush. What I really love about this, and I had the bright idea, I get those once in a while. This is a center little mark that they ringed in there. But also, make yourself like 4 or 5 marks so that you don't have to kind of guess and wonder or put tape or any of that baloney or any marker that's going to wear away or whatever. Just have them, you know, cut in 4 or 5 marks, rings, a couple inches apart, whatever. So there's no guessing. It's sort of like Elite FTS's 5-ring bar that they don't make anymore that I wish they made. If they made that again, I'll buy it. Please and thank you, Dave. Above that is one of my favorite bars I've ever used. This is the Barbell Rhino Flex bar. Sorry about that. I'm looking at the bar and not at the camera. What I love about that bar, I think most people that are watching this already know what a bamboo / Barbell bar is. What I love about this particular one is it's plate loaded. You can either put plates on it, or you can obviously hang kettlebells or weights with bands. And because it's a rubber end coating, if you hang bands on there, it's not going to slide around or move whatsoever. I absolutely love that bar. I like this particular one. This is kind of their mid-grade one. I want to say this was close to 400 bucks. This is their mid-grade one, so when you rack it, it doesn't ding up the fiberglass there. It's basically like an overbuilt fishing pole. It has that whatever Fiberflex type tape that's in the middle of it that's pretty gnarly, but it definitely bites on your back if you use it to squat with. The bar weighs like 6 to 7 pounds, but it flexes like crazy. I highly, highly, highly recommend that bar. Representing the old school, that's who I am. Up here, this is my business. I have a wood-fired coffee company. Check it out. Thank you very much. Here's the wall of handles. Wall space really needs to be utilized. It has to be, because I have a very small gym, so I have to use every bit of space that I have. Plus I'm a little OCD, maybe a lot, so I need to have things organized really well. Up there is a couple of bars from Elite FTS, big, fat, nasty bars. You can see them. I don't need to talk too much about them. The second one down is a revolving bar, 2 inches thick. Third one down, that Elite FTS multi-grip angled, also cambered bar, is a fantastic little bar. Down below that is another Elite FTS thick grip neutral bar. I love that bar. It has a great textured feeling to it. I'm a huge fan of Elite FTS and Dave Tate because of all that he's done for the sport over the years. And I just think he's a fantastic guy. Him and Mark Bell have done a lot. So many people have done a lot. Donnie Thompson, Brian Carroll, I could go on and on and on. Mag grips, let's talk a little bit about those. I've been hearing about them for years, and I heard that they're better than other bars, and I'm thinking, you guys are full of baloney. And I bought one, and there is certainly some kind of weird voodoo magic about them that lights my back up better than just about any other attachment handle that I have. So I got some pronated ones. I got a couple of neutral ones. I have a supinated grip one here. I love them, love them, love them, love them. And Autumn, that works for the company, I'm not sure if she does still, but her customer service was amazing. I like these bars so much. I've bought some other bars for different friends. I'm like, you guys got to try those bars. So there's a little plug for them. Those two bars on the bottom, that is a revolving angled, different angled fat handled curl bar that Lucas Raymond at Arm Assassin Strength Shop made. And then I also had him make me this bar on the bottom that's modeled after Matt Wenning's fat bar. But the thing that Lucas went kind of above and beyond with is he made an attachment both on the top and the bottom, so you can do a reverse grip or sort of a normal grip. I love that bar. It's very, very comfortable. The angle of it is perfect. Some different, little rehab balls, stuff like that. Some elbow sleeves that are inside out now drying. Handles. All kinds of little handles. Handles from Spud Inc. This nasty little bar. This is an angled tricep / curl bar that obviously works on that roller chain. So let's say you're doing a curl with it. As you're curling it up, you have to roll it into you, and it makes it really, really hard. The handle is slicker than snot in a doorknob. The same thing with triceps. When you're pressing it down and you're kind of trying to roll away from that chain, it makes it very, very difficult. It adds a heck of a grip element to it. Just some homemade rolling, thick grip cable handles. I love, in case you haven't seen a theme here, I love grip work. I was a rock climber before I started all this lifting garbage, and I still love it. I think grip strength is really, really important. I've seen really big, strong guys that will drop a deadlift due to their grip, and I think that's too bad. But you can argue that I'm not strong enough to even drop a deadlift, so there's that too. These spudding handles here, these straps, these are basically for somebody that's having grip issues or elbow issues or something. So this will take the grip out of it. And the one below that will obviously light your grip up. This is a Jed Johnson invented this. Lucas Raymond made it and sells it. It's a Napalm's Nightmare handle. It spins, it's thicker, and I have different size dimensions. My hands are kind of big, as you can see, so I actually prefer a thicker grip anyway. Can I get a hey now? This is a homemade little pull row handle that I had the welding shop make. Same thing, revolving, spinning, spinning grips that are thicker. This nasty little attachment here, it's either a 4 or 5 inch little pipe that I had them cut. I asked if I could go out back in the scrapyard and just look for things. I found this, and I found that pipe, and I had them just make me a little pinch bar. And that little pinch grip thing there, you want to challenge your grip, that thing will definitely do it. Some old school perfect pull-ups, they're pretty useful. This thing here, hold please. Sorry about that. Okay. Elite FTS sells these things. They're little 3 to 4 inch metal globes. And when I went to buy them, they were out of stock. And as much as I love to support Dave and the company, I had these old softballs hanging around downstairs from the 80s, drilled some holes, ran some rope through them, and they work beautifully. Basically, those top pair works the top part of the movement on the tricep push down. The middle works kind of the middle range, and the bottom set of softballs will work from parallel all the way down to lockout. So I get to do a nice little superset. Top part of the motion, middle part of the motion, bottom part of the motion. The bottom part of the motion allows me to flare out a little bit more too. Very useful little tool, and it was completely free. I have a little anvil trainer right there, bam. So you can see all this, a little arm wrestler, homemade, little cuppinator type of thing. A long ab strap. I got a short ab strap up underneath there. I got a Spud Inc harness. I got a lot of things from Spud Inc because it works and it's cheap. That yellow thing there is a 8-foot upper body sled strap that I just have hanging there. And then just some different handles. I got a couple of hip circles. I have that slingshot there. I love that thing. It allows me to overload my training a little bit. Some fat grips. Who doesn't appreciate that? This thing here, Jed Johnson did a little video series called Hard to Handle when he was testing the world's most difficult thick bar rolling handle. And Raymond Cody at Country Crush won. So this thing is and I've had this since before he did the comp, but it's really an arm wrestler tool, hence the 3 different hold positions there. Made in the USA. I've had that thing for a long time, and it is a nasty little handle. A guy out of North Carolina made that one for me. Pretty comfortable. I have a pair of these. I'm loaning them to a friend who just did a grip comp in Mass. Just different handles, anything that I can use to challenge my grip more. Hockey puck down there to simulate a hub lift. Just different things. That Fat Bastard Barbell Company, if anybody remembers them, give a little shout in the comment section below. They were a pretty decent sized grip company back in the day. I want to say they've sold the company since, but that little double barrel blaster is a heck of a grip challenge. Bunch of different, wraps, cuffs, straps, that sort of a stuff. Some are super old, some are brand new, some collars, all different kinds of collars. Those aluminum USA ones from Rogue are the best quality collars as far as their ability to bite and hold the weight. Elbow sleeves, that sort of thing. If I back up here, this little Titan Fitness seated military shoulder press. I like it because the back of the bench is shorter, so it allows me to kind of bend back a little bit. Again, I'm not a big fan of Titan, but the thing was $150 and it's fine. it works really well. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. In the middle here, weight tree. Ultimately what I want to do is have some posts welded onto the side of my power rack for weight storage to just, you know, take up space, eliminate some of that space that's being used for that tree. Here I had this little grip machine here that Lucas Raymond at Arm Assassin Strength Shop made me. It's a plate loaded grip machine. I like the fact that it kind of has angled in handles. It's a great tool. I have a lot of fun with that. It doesn't challenge the thumb, but it's great for the flexors. My little 1/2 hex blob there, that's quite a challenge to pick up. It's a lot of fun though. It's pretty slick. My rice bucket for doing hand rehab, prehab work. A few different sandbags. I actually have quite a lot of sandbags, but the rest of them are downstairs. I don't have a lot of room here. Chalk bucket here, obviously pretty exciting. I have a couple Iron Mine sandbags on the bottom, big sandies on the bottom, little sandies above that in the blue. Then I have the green one is about a 75 pound, and this one is a 25 pound for some lighter work or people that aren't strong enough yet. Over here, I just have a homemade little belt squat platform that I hijacked from another project. I had a landmine there. That's what was bolted there. I have to paint that, obviously. But it's a simple little thing. I just ran a little rock climbing pulley through there. I have a regular pulley, but I just wanted to hook this up to see if it'll work. And I have some paracord. It's just a temporary thing. I wanted just to see if it'll work. We'll buy a cable and finish that up right. But as you guys know, a gym is never finished. Runs up here, pretty basic, pretty simple. Hooks up to my pull down. I just have a simple pull down here. What allows me to do belt squats on my own and not have to pick it up from the bottom is that little old crappy block there. So I put the block up underneath that bar, underneath the weights, and that way I can stand up from an almost, you know, stood up position, stand up a couple inches, pull that block out, squat. When I'm done, put the block back under, so I'm not having to clip it in from a bottom position. That's kind of a pain in the nuts. But that's it. So over here, I moved my landmine over here in the corner, just kind of screwed it over there in the corner. This is kind of cool. I guess this is worth pulling out. I can use that for landmine work, hence that little thing there slides over the end of a barbell, or I can take it off. As you can see, it just kind of pins in there. And I can use it on a cable machine because I had a little ring welded on there. But it's a simple little supinated, pronated handle. And I love it. And this is another one that Lucas Raymond from Arm Assassin Strength Shop made me. So if you get an idea, go to a local welding shop, or even better, you know, reach out to Lucas. Have him make what you want. It's pretty simple. So if I have an idea, like that nasty little curl bar there, I'm just like, hey, is this something that you can make? And he's like, sure enough. So, and it's not that much money. I have this little Wonder Woman curl bar, I call it. My little Wonder Woman bar. 2-inch thick grip bar, curl bar. I absolutely love it. And a bunch of stuff like that. Let me stand this up. And my loading pin, I have my little wrist elbow prehab tool from Iron Mine there. I like the thicker grip on it. A Thomas Inch dumbbell trainer, that dumbbell handle there, and then a regular old school Olympic dumbbell handle. These things here are, sorry for the poor camera work. These are competition uprights for doing grip training or loading pin work. So when I had a grip competition here, I'd hook up a loading pin with that little crossbar, knock bar will go slide over my loading pin. And as you stand up, you know that you've hit a legal height. That little flat or straight flexible PVC pipe is a pull down handle, but it takes the place of like a Tsunami pull down bar because I can't afford to buy one. So that thing has worked great for years and years and years, and it's never broke, which is pretty bizarre. There's actually 2 pipes inside of there to help with the strength of it. My reverse hyper, it is from Titan, but you know what? The thing is actually really solid. I've gotten a number of years of use out of that. I really like it. Bunch of jump ropes in the corner there. The 2.5 or so thick grip pull-up rope that I have. The exercise ball, I don't know where else to put it. My wife wanted me to put in something to represent French Acadian culture, so I did. One of the competitors deadlifting a car 11 times. That was pretty cool. She's mid-40s and barely weighs 100 pounds, so I'm pretty impressed with her. The best strength training, nutrition, science-focused podcast on the internet. They're also one of the longest. Go check them out. Phil Stevens, Dr. Lonnie Lowry, and whoever else that they have on as guests. It's fantastic. I want to say it's every Thursday. It's free. Check them out. Those dudes are really smart. The board for putting a program on there. We don't have a program on there currently, but we typically do. An old school Roman chair. Got an old chain down there. Big, long, big, thick rope for doing battle ropes. I call that puppy Big Mamba. There's the Rogue ab wheel. That's a pretty nasty little ab wheel, actually. I really enjoy it. Solid steel. Fan. Some med balls. And this is one from Walmart that was absolutely garbage. It pretty much blew up the first time we used it. I've had a lot of different people roll through here. And I have a buddy from the Boston Police SWAT team that the Boston Police Graphics Department made me that as a way to say thank you. That was really, really cool. Speed bag, because it's great for coordination. I have a whole boxing setup downstairs that I just don't have the room for up here. But this is basically a Aroostook barbell. It's free. So if you're in northern Maine, which not a lot of people ever are, come and check us out. Let's just do one little quick pan through. I didn't talk about the power rack, which I will in a second. This is the gym. It's a very small space, so I have to kind of make it count. Keep everything really organized, put everything back where it belongs. Let's do a quick little pan on the rack. A very old school rack, very old handmade rack, and it's a little odd in its design, but what I like about it is you can throw a bomb at that thing and it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not bolted down. It doesn't have to be. I can press, it's tall enough that I can press my full-size log inside of the rack. That's what I really appreciate about it. It has those Spud Inc. Safety strap / chains, which I really, really like. Those things are great. They're light. Tuck them up and get them out of the way. I had a pull-up bar made for it. Got to represent back in the day. I just love it. So anyway, thank you so much for checking out the gym tour. This has been Aroostook Barbell. Peace.